With y'all's education here in the U.S., did y'all have to how was the transition during COVID time?
So for me personally, uh, eighth through sophomore year,
Mm-hmm.
I was in Japan. So
Mm.
my experience is very, very different from people here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think my perspective will be different than hers. But for me personally, Japan, it's an honor-based society. Everything's built on respect. And so when the government tells you to wear masks, everyone will wear masks.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, there's a certain level of shame that's attached to that.
Mm.
So because everyone follows rules for the most part, the spread was pretty minimal.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that society and culture, we were able to, after kind of the first big wave, our school was very good at adapting. So we kind of did mix of online, offline, and try to stay online or in person as much as possible, which I think was very beneficial for me as coming back junior year. For her, she was online or very rarely some people were in person, but
Yeah.
it was easier for me to transition back just because I've been comfortable with seeing people and going into a classroom.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So on the complete flip side for me, it
Mhm.
was, I'll say it, the U.S., most of the people that were, especially the high schoolers, it wasn't the same level of responsibility, I guess, with mask wearing and stuff like that. And so I'm Chinese, which has a lot of similar cultural norms as Japanese society. So it was kind of hard on me in the sense that I had that same honor-based kind of system ingrained in me, and I was when I go out, I'll wear a mask. You do you. I'm not gonna force it onto you. But going out and as a high schooler, I saw a lot of people just whatever, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And then also recently I lost a friend to COVID, and so that hits it, and that it's not some old. I'm not it's not an old person. It's just one of us, He's a younger kid, but so it was really frustrating for me in the beginning, especially at our high school, and I'm sure this applied to a lot of other high schools as well. A lot of kids just were whatever, and it comes with a bit of the immaturity, and also that also comes with a lot of the separation, the kind of loneliness.
Yeah.
A lot of people missed out on that kind of growth period because there was a lot of time that we missed out on, so for me, our freshman year, sophomore years, and for a lot of other people, their middle school years, elementary school years, those are some pretty critical years. And I've seen studies about how a lot of younger kids straight up just cannot read because their parents didn't give them any help when they were at home. And there's other kids who, their parents were really diligent with it, and they're way above their level.
Right.
And so it's really that kind of separation, it really sets you apart, and it really, that's what it is, it's the isolation. So I think there's a lot of difference, and especially it was evident for me when we were coming back. A lot of people would be distant or just completely different people. And also just, so he said, they were able to transition back smoothly. A lot of us weren't. A lot of us were just super awkward. It was rough. Yeah, it was rough. We were in the same classroom, so we're thinking about the same stuff right now. But, it's kind of rough. You see some people who just, most socially awkward people ever. It's not that they're bad people, and it's not that it's horrible, but, you can tell the difference between people who had the quote-unquote normal high school experience, or when you compare people who, just didn't. People who weren't, able to communicate with people in person like that.
It takes practice.